Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dolynny TV, and oh boy, whew, yeah, you know what? You smell that? You feel that? Yeah, it is hockey season. Yeah, feels good. Feels really good. Feels really good. I don't know how else to put it. It is going to be an absolutely unreal year, and of course you can't start that. I mean, okay, we've talked about PTOs, we've talked about signing guys, and here go the Edmonton Oilers on day one of rookie camp. Now, the rookies, they're having their day. They're getting their day in the press with the Edmonton Oilers Twitter account, all the socials, and life's good. But here the Oilers go, solving a problem, maybe two, that we knew about, right? Obviously, that third line center question mark that has been all off season long is now resolved for the Edmonton Oilers. And again, like I said, it feels good. Feels good. Everything's good. Happy, cheery. We'll get to the rookie camp reports stuff in another video later today, but everything for now feels cheery, feels good, and we hope everything goes well down the road as we continue through camp. The one bit of news here is, of course, Riley Sheahan signing a 1-year, $900,000 contract with the Edmonton Oilers. So Sheahan, I need to get his stats up here, but the key with Sheahan, if I can find it, hold on a second here. Bang, and give me a second. I'm a mess. Just a busy little day today as Riley Sheahan, if I can find him in the search. Guys, basically fills that third line center role. Only 19 points last year. That's kind of the key metric you need to know. But the key here with Riley Sheahan is he does have a little bit of wing ability in him. He's 27. He'll be 28 by December 7th. And the stats go as such. I'll get that snip and we'll get that going for you in just a second here. But he's a Detroit product. That's number one, what you need to know. So he is a Ken Holland guy per se. He's back from the day with Ken Holland all the way through to 17-18. So that's another important one for you to know. Although noted in this is the fact that Ken Holland did trade this guy. So obviously there has to be some kind of redeeming quality that Riley Sheahan has to this Oilers roster for Ken Holland to grab him back in his new job with the Edmonton Oilers. We're not talking Peter Chiarelli Boston Bruins mentality here, I don't think. That may be the case, maybe, possibly, but I really don't think it is. So let's get this graphic updated. I don't even know, that's Anton Bertisov's stats in there right now loaded up, but we need to get Riley Sheahan's full stats. I only have a couple of his stats in there previously, so let's go get that. Bang, bang. And let's see where we're at. We're at right there, so I'll just minimize this a little bit, hopefully not too small. Get that up over top. Hopefully you can read that. Break down the bar and let's get talking. So Sheahan, yeah, you know what, I'm just going to full screen this. This makes way more sense for me to do. We're going to ignore playoffs because we're a million miles away from that and we got to go out there and get there first. But you look at Sheahan, he's had 130 plus point year, or two. Yeah, guys, see, I don't know why you trust me. I don't even know why I trust myself. Anyway, 36 points in 14-15, and then 32 points with Pittsburgh in 73 games in 17-18. No points in 8 games with Detroit that year. And then last year bounced around 9 points, 10 points respectively between Pittsburgh and Florida. You see, really, he's a little bit of a mix of goal scoring and passing, but I don't know if it depends on ice time or what for Riley Sheahan. But the key here is, nope, that's not the one I want. I want that one right there. The key with Riley Sheahan here is you got to go on Twitter. And I mean, I don't often ask this because I know what a lot of Twitter thinks of Jim Matheson of the Edmonton Journal, Edmonton Sun, Post Media. Just say Post friggin' Media because that's all it really is at this point. They go under 2 brands. I don't know why you brand split. If you're trying to survive a newspaper, put all your effort in one. Why don't you? It just doesn't make sense anymore. But Jim Matheson has a tweet here, and I know a lot of the questions are about the content of his tweets a lot of times if you read the replies to him. But this one seems to be that groundbreaking stuff that I haven't heard. I really haven't heard this one, but this one solves the other problem the Oilers have with Kyle Boradziak, and so this one quoted straight from Jim Matheson's tweet. The Oilers aren't expecting Kyle Boradziak to pass his physical because of his ongoing back issues. He hasn't trained all summer. It's one of the reasons they signed Riley Sheahan as a veteran center. So right there, for somebody, you guys know where I've been all summer. I've been at Ball, I've been at Big Valley, I've been in camping, so my summer's been a mess. If I somehow missed a detail like this about Kyle Boradziak, I do apologize. I haven't seen any of you mention it, though, in the comments. If you did, remind me, I do apologize, but there we sit. So all of a sudden, this whole roster maneuver that the Oilers are going to have to pull off when it comes time to name the 23-man roster, whatever day that is, September 30th or whatever the cutoff is, it's going to get very, very interesting for them in the fact that you have to figure out, well, you've got, right, guys sitting here, I'll list off guys, Sam Gagner, Zach Kassian, Alex Chiasson, Marcus Granlund, Jujhar Khaira, Josh Archibald, Joakim Nygard, Thomas Shirko, Colby Cave. Then who else do we have? Let's go down the list to the other side. You've got Gaetan Oss, you've got Cooper Marody, Kyler Yamamoto. Some of you think Ryan McLeod might have a shot if he comes up. Tyler Benson has a shot. And then you've got Joe Gambardella, Patrick Russell, bless me, and Josh Curry. That is the mess. There's about 18 names that you could possibly list for a total of 8 roles for the Edmonton Oilers this year. That's the scary part when it comes to our roster. And technically speaking, I guess maybe 10 roles. But you see the logjam, right? And the realistic point of view I see with this whole mess for the Oilers and solving the conundrum that is the roster to be named at the end of September is the fact that a lot of these deals are one-way deals, and they are cheap deals. They are cheap, $1 million, take a flyer, kind of low risk, pays them off if they end up performing kind of deals. And the reason that works so gosh darn well for the Edmonton Oilers, who after signing Riley Sheahan only have $1.5 million in cap space, the absolute complete key here is the fact that without Kyle Brodziak complicating things, you've got that fact of performance-based roster maneuvers. And what that usually means is you shuffle 2 or 3 bubble guys back and forth between the farm club. But with these one-year deals, one-way deals, cheap deals, what this allows the Oilers to do is the guys that they kind of want on the roster long-term throughout the season, they can start in the minors if they're on a 2-way deal, and then it allows you to bring in those guys you signed in the offseason, and if you need to put them on waivers because they're not performing, you're not losing anything of real gained value, if you understand where I'm going, right? The Oilers, it's not like they invested in 5 years they're not investing big in these guys, and if they don't perform, you put them on waivers. These guys are guys who have done the job in the NHL prior to coming to Edmonton, and they are guys who very easily go somewhere else on waivers. So what I mean by performance-based roster maneuvers is simply that. You can build your roster based on how it performs. And that's something the Oilers haven't had in probably the past 2 years, and a big reason for why they failed so much is because every time something happened, it was a stopgap measure to fill the hole. Whereas now, you've got your crop of rookies, you've got a crop of NHL bottom 6 pros, you've got a crop of bubble guys, right? Josh Curry, Patrick Russell, Joe Gambardella, Brad Malone. You've got bubble guys that can fill that gap. They're still stopgap measures for the most part, but you understand it, right? There's 3 prongs to this approach, and if you need to put somebody on waivers, it's not the end of the world this year. And losing somebody isn't necessarily, in the previous years, going to cost this team like it did. You don't necessarily have that guy Valentin Zykov that you're going to put on waivers and lose, and right, there's the chance that somebody might burn you, but at the same rate, there's actual competition, which indicates you need to turn over the roster rapidly as the situation evolves. Now, how rapidly means, don't ask me, but you understand where I'm going with it, is the fact that the dynamic nature of this Oilers roster through camp doesn't stop once the regular season begins, in my estimation. I might be right out to lunch. That's maybe a hot take. I don't get it. But you've got, don't forget, Colby Cave in there as well, right? There's guys all over the map for the Edmonton Oilers that are going to make an impact somewhere in the lineup sometime this year. So, and in worst case, if you have to let them go to waivers, you let them go to waivers. If not, you make that trade for that draft pick. And guys, the Oilers stocking up on draft picks might not be the worst thing come trade deadline when we might know our situation. So, that's essentially my news that I know of today, that I have any indication on realistically, is the fact that everything looks good. Everything looks good for the Edmonton Oilers at this point as we enter rookie camp. Now the thing here is we have to get into camp, and Riley Sheahan, what does he solve? What does Riley Sheahan exactly solve? Does he solve the Brodziak spot, or does he solve the third line center position? Well, right now Riley Sheahan is just here on a $900,000 deal to earn a job. And if you do indeed go by what Jim Matheson tweeted today, well, suddenly you've got that open spot, but does it go to Riley Sheahan? I don't know. That in itself, again, back to the roster maneuvers, performance-based. Guys, I'm Tyson, this is Dolynny TV. I lost my train of thought towards the end. You get the breaking news. You've read it all afternoon. I'm three hours late getting to this, so get it at me in the comment section below. What do you think about today's signing? Let me know, and I will catch you in the next one.